So I'm recording this video literally an hour after chapter 57 of Kagurabachi has dropped, and that's because I read it and then sat there and thought, yeah, I need to talk about this. Like, right now, it's imperative that I get this off my chest, because that is the single best chapter of manga that I have read since 261 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and bear in mind, when I read that chapter, I was halfway through the Egghead arc in One Piece. Oh, but have you tried reading Boruto? Shut up. Yeah, recency bias, sure, whatever, I don't care. I think it is just the best chapter I've read in such a long time. Yeah, this chapter was just incredible. We learnt a load of new secrets, a load of history about, like, you know, sorcery and the war, and about the wielder of the Shinuchi, and we also see a new enchanted blade. And then there's the plot twist. There is the plot twist, okay? If you've read the chapter, which I'm hoping you have if you're watching this video, you'll know about the plot twist. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about all of that very soon, okay? Basically, I first just wanted to point out how incredible Kagurabachi is as a whole. 57 chapters, consistently amazing. Not a single wasted panel in any of those chapters. It has been incredible. So we start off the chapter with Samura just cooking absolutely everybody who is invading the Senkutsuji Temple. Yeah, he cuts down everybody and Hishaku runs away scared for his life. Now, when Hishaku actually runs away, he says that Samura with that enchanted blade is so fast that even he cannot see him. That literally means Samura has been buffed to the point where he is an entire blitz level above a leading Hishaku member. No one can keep up with this guy right now. He is by far the strongest sorcerer around, which you'd think is a good thing, but no, it's not. Now, a little detail you would have missed amongst all the craziness in this chapter is that Hishaku actually teleports away using the exact same hand sign that Shiba uses to teleport. And this is the second time we've seen this done by someone other than Shiba, because Yura did it when he faced off with Hiyuki in the Rakizachi auction. What this basically confirms to us is that Shiba's innate sorcery is not teleportation. Teleportation is a generic high-level ability that can be learnt by insanely skilled sorcerers. At least that's my theory. So when Yura says that Shiba sits at the pinnacle of sorcerers that don't wield an enchanted blade, he means the pinnacle, because we've not seen what that guy can do yet, and teleportation is not his main ability. I have a feeling he is going to be the kind of Gojo of the non-enchanted blade wielding sorcerers, and I think Shiba, Azami, and Hiyuki are going to come into play very soon, because as the three strongest, we're going to need them. Like, really need them, and they've been quiet for way too long. But yeah, that was just a little detail I kind of picked up on and thought you guys would miss. Anyway, onto the exciting stuff. So after Samura cuts everybody down, and the Senkuchi's the temple. After the temple is secured, okay, they basically just go around and Samura's really sad because a load of people have died and it's all very depressing. But then we move back over to Hirohiko talking to Chihiro, and Hirohiko reveals that, you know, there are some problems at the moment which Chihiro is not really equipped to deal with. Mainly being that Samura is a traitor. Yeah, that's the big plot twist, and I'm gonna work towards how we got to that point right now, okay? So Hirohiko basically starts monologuing about how Yura actually wants to wield the Shinuchi for himself, but that obviously seems very main villain cliche, oh, I want the strong weapon to kill everyone. That's not how this works though, because then Hirohiko talks about the stories told of the enchanted blade users in the war, and how the country sees them as these heroes. But then Chihiro realizes that when it comes to talking about the Shinuchi and the wielder of the Shinuchi, who this chapter refers to as the Sword Master, he realized that Kunishige actually gets very reserved and didn't talk about it, so Chihiro had to learn about it from a load of books. And that of course means he only has surface level information, which is the same old shit of, oh my god, he was a hero who helped save Japan from whatever the fuck this war was. Hirohiko then starts explaining how that isn't really the case, and Chihiro knows that Hirohiko wasn't lying because he himself detected a different presence inside Kyora when he wielded the Shinuchi. Now, we obviously saw the devastating power of the Shinuchi, and so did Chihiro, but what we all assumed, and what Chihiro assumed, is that all that strength and out of control power came from the blade itself, which isn't true, because the reason that the Shinuchi is kept under lock and key so heavily, and the reason why the original wielder is under protection so heavily, is not because it's the blade that's the problem. The thing that went out of control and became a monster was the wielder. And to me, this seems like we're actually setting up the wielder of the Shinuchi to maybe be the big bad Sukuna of this series. And Yura, like I said last time, is more like the Kenjaku who's manipulating events. So yeah, it seems I was right and a load of other people were right. Kunishige was definitely keeping some dark secrets from Chihiro, which has now been revealed to him. And then Hirohiko keeps taunting Chihiro about how Chihiro wants to keep all the Enchanted Blade users alive, but then drops a bombshell on us and says that Yura and Samura actually made a pact 3 years ago, and that is because Samura wants all of the Enchanted Blade wielders dead. That's right, Samura is a traitor. He's had enough of what the Enchanted Blades stand for. He hates the violence, he hates the killing. This is why he blinded himself. We've seen it from the beginning of his character, and yet nobody predicted this. No one predicted that his goals would align with the Hishaku, and that they had already made a prior agreement. Now, Samura definitely does not hold any desire to kill anyone other than Enchanted Blade users, so Hakuri is probably safe, as are his squad. However, the same cannot necessarily be said for Uruha. We all thought Samura was going to die in this chapter, but it wasn't him, because Hirohiko then actually gets reinforcements, manages to get out of Chihiro's grasp, and drop Uruha's Enchanted Blade right next to them. And of course, in true Allons-Y fashion, I made a joke last week about Hirohiko not being able to wield a blade because they don't have any arms. And then I made a joke about how he could maybe do it with his mouth like Zoro. And guess what he did, guys? Guess what? Can you take a guess what he did? Do you know what he did? He held it in his mouth like Zoro. But the crazy thing is, when he held it in his mouth, it actually started working. And as we know from Eternal Contracts, you shouldn't be able to use an Enchanted Blade unless the original wielder is dead. Oh, but guess what the final panel of this chapter was? It was Uruha's face looking incredibly shocked. I mean, honestly, from the look of it, it looks like he feels pretty betrayed. And what I think has happened here is off-screen, Samura has cut down all the Hishaku invading the temple, and then cut down Uruha, which means we were wrong. Samura is not the one to die. It was Uruha. He is dead. It's not 100% confirmed. There is a very small chance that panel is there for dramatic effect, and that's not actually his blade, although odds are that was his blade, and the fact that it's working and we see that panel of his face looking surprised means Samura cut him down then and there, which is tragic. And it also means Hirohiko and the Hishaku now have another Enchanted Blade under their belts. A usable one, which is really not very good for us. So, yeah. We got some problems. And considering the fact that Hishaku said Samura was too fast to see, and Chihiro isn't very experienced with his Enchanted Blade yet, it means we have a major problem, because there's a good chance Samura's coming for Chihiro next. And I can't lie, I just don't see anyone being able to stop him, other than 3 people: Shiba, Azami, and Hiyuki. And I don't mean individually, I mean together. This is when Shiba might have to go all out. And remember, this has kind of been foreshadowed because Yura was hard glazing Shiba last chapter, or the chapter before rather. Someone else who I think has a genuine chance of beating Samura with his Enchanted Blade is Hiyuki with Flamebone if she gets permission to use it above a certain level, because it's capped at a certain level and the higher ups have to allow that level to be reached. If she's allowed to just go all out and use its full power, then it is said to rival Enchanted Blades. So if Shiba uses his ability, Azami steps in and finally shows us what he's got, and Hiyuki uses Flamebone, I reckon they can take down Samura. But honestly, that's our only chance at this point. Not to mention the fact that Hirohiko is supposedly a prodigy who should be able to master the Enchanted Blade in no time, so that just puts another strong wielder on the cards for them to deal with. Now, as I said last chapter, I suspect Chihiro and Hirohiko are going to continue their rivalry, and the ones who are going to hunt down Samura are going to be the 3 of Shiba, Azami, and Hiyuki. But hey, that's just my speculation. I don't think it makes much sense for Samura and Chihiro to fight, considering that he already has a rivalry. A rivalry? No, a rivalry with Hirohiko. That thing's all been set up. I think they're going to go back and forth as 2 inexperienced users who still have growth, and Samura's going to be confronted after killing Uruha by the, stronger sorcerers in the Kamanabi. But yeah, this chapter, overall, it was just, I just actually can't believe what I read. It was so good. Unbelievable. Everyone thought Samura was dead. But no, he was a traitor, he's been working with the Hishaku, he wants the users dead, he's probably the strongest around right now, and everyone is fucked, basically. Oh, and not to mention the fact that Shiba and Kunishige were hiding those secrets about the Sword Master, or the wielder of the Shinichi, actually being an evil monster from Chihiro all this time. And I think that's why Shiba looked so unbelievably distressed when he saw Kiora wielding the Shinichi, and seeing that the original wielder was kind of worming his way into Kiora's mind. That is why Shiba looked so distressed, and I called it out then. I said right then when I saw it, he knows something that everyone else doesn't. And I think I was right. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of ranting at this point, but that was an unbelievable chapter. So good. And the art as well. I mean, just look at Hirohiko holding this blade in his mouth. unbelievably good. But yeah, that does it for chapter 57 of Kagurabachi. That was the review and also my thoughts and theories of what's going to happen next and who's going to face off with who. As always, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing Kagurabachi reviews consistently from now on because I realize that no other content creator is really doing it. So I basically want to step in and be the go-to person who is doing these Kagurabachi chapter reviews. I am here for the long game, okay? Kagurabachi is here to stay and so am I, so make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more of these videos. But yeah, my ranting session is done now. Everyone have fun. Bye.